everyone. It is now 1 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Liliana Howard. I am your Quality 2 coordinator. I am in charge of quality improvement plans, technical assistance, and professional development. And thank you everyone who was able to come online and come in person and join us. We also have Janet Honor in the room. Say hi, Janet.
Hello, everyone.
We got Mary Brewster.
Hello, everyone.
And Natisha.
Hi, everyone.
And Wendy.
Elizabeth.
And Joseph. And we have Elizabeth, help me with your last name.
Eckleberry.
We also have a new staff member in finance. Her name is Miss Elizabeth Eckleberry. There you go. And those are the staff that are in the room. And I would like to start out with a shout out, make sure everybody can hear me. Can everybody hear me? Yes, thank you, Miss Bobby, for responding. Yes, awesome. All right, so celebration announcements. We have some brave child care providers who are doing child assessment. They do Teaching Strategies Gold. And in order to qualify for child assessment, they have to have at least 75% of their personnel, their teachers. When I say personnel, I'm referring to teachers who are qualified to do Teaching Strategies Gold assessments. And that means they have to pass an ear rate or reliability test. And I can tell you, having taken it myself, even recently, it can be very irritating. That's probably why they call it ear rate or reliability test. But anyway, they have surpassed that. They have not 80, not 90, but 100% of their teacher staff qualified and reliable in the tool. And I just want to give a big shout out. Congratulations. That is not easy. As you guys know, there's turnover and all kinds of obstacles, but they have 100% of their teaching staff qualified. No small feat. And looking at the agenda, if you look to your packets, you have on the second page there a memorandum in reference to Celebrate Literacy Week. And this is in reference, and if you guys would like to participate in Literacy Week, we would like to know so that we can purchase the 10 Little Fish book for you. Is there anybody who remembers Literacy Week from last year, where the coalition had bought the books and you guys were able to come and pick up the books so that everybody, the whole state of Florida, is reading at the same time? This is that same initiative literacy program. The theme this year is take a deep dive into literacy, splash into new worlds. And and as you can see, for those of you who came in person, we gave you a Pete the Cat book related to diving into a new world and making a splash, scuba diving. We would like to know how many books we might need to order. So if you're interested in this, please put a message in the chat and let us know with your email address, and we'll be sure to make sure that you get to get some books for your classrooms. And I've got some people. And is there anybody in here that would like to participate? We can highlight your name on the sign-in, sign-out sheet. Raise your hand, and do you want to participate? Pastor wants to participate.
Okay, everybody.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for covering that. Hi, everybody.
So that is Celebrate Literacy Week, a statewide initiative. Any questions?
Easy peasy.
All right. I don't see any questions, but I do see a lot of people who want to participate. This is wonderful. Awesome. All right, cute little book, isn't it? Okay, now let me go ahead and go back to our agenda. Can everybody see our agenda? Yes, wonderful. You guys can continue putting your email addresses in there, letting us know that you want to participate as we're going to keep moving on. Are there any partners? Let me see if there's any partners. If you're a partner with us and you would like to speak, can you please raise your hand? It makes it a lot easier for me to find you on this platform. I'm just going to take a minute to try to see if we have any partners. Scrolling down here. Thank you for your patience. Okay, Leda Sosa and Lisa Newton have their hand up.
Maybe for literacy.
Did you guys, Ms. Sosa, did you have a question? You can unmute yourself. No, you didn't have a question. Okay. Lisa Newton, did you have a question? Okay, I'm just gonna, I don't see any partner. And we're just gonna go ahead and keep moving on because we got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
All right, and that brings us to VPK updates with Ms. Janet Honor.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to go over a few things with you about BPK. The first thing we're going to discuss is BPK class observations. Every VPK provider must have a class observation. It's important to note that every classroom will be assessed during your VPK observation. Okay. ELC has contracted with Teachstone. That's the vendor that we will be using to help us conduct the VPK class assessments. We will also be going out there doing our own assessments as well. What will happen is you're going to get an email from the quality team. Most likely Mary will reach out to you, letting you know that your assessment is coming up. The next thing that's going to happen is Teachstone or ELC, depending on which one of us conducts the class assessment, will contact you to set up a 2-week window in those blackout dates. Okay. Important things to note for VPK. Only the lead teacher can be assessed during the class observation, not an aide, not a sub. So if you have 2 lead teachers in that classroom, that is okay. If you have a lead and an aide in that classroom and your lead is absent the week of your class assessment, your class assessment will have to be rescheduled because that aide cannot be observed, okay? Also, it's important to note that not to make any unnecessary changes to your VPK app. And this is because the information in your app, which is your director, your classroom, your lead teacher, that gets transferred into the WELL system. And when you make those changes, sometimes it takes all your information out of WELLs, and then it takes some time to get updated again, okay? So if you don't have to make any changes, don't do it, okay? Or call us and let us know what's going on so that we can help you with those changes and let Teachstone know that there has been a change and maybe you have to change your date for your observation, okay? The next thing we're going to discuss is progress monitoring. So PM2 start date. Progress monitoring 2, which is PM2, is due when a VPK classroom schedule has completed 40% of the instructional hours and no more than 60% of the instructional hours have elapsed. You should have gotten an email from me with a reminder that your progress monitoring 2 is coming up. And that email states your start date and your end date. And that's just to help us to track and help you guys to track and know when that is due, okay? Some important things to know about the progress monitoring. All students have to be um, not obsessed, observed or assessed during the progress monitoring, okay? If that student is absent, that's not a reason not to observe that child or complete the assessment on that child, okay? Um, and that's because a child can miss a few days, here and a few days there, but then come back. The only way you can mark that child as did not participate or non-participatory status is if that child has missed the entire period for progress monitoring, okay? Um, I will be following up with all VPK providers on the status of your progress monitoring. So every Tuesday and Thursday, we get reports on how many students have been tested, how many students have not been tested, and how we need to follow up with you, okay? I want to go over the following areas for non-participation, and that is assessment inappropriate, failed practice, not present during testing window. And again, this is only for students that have been absent their entire period, okay? Also, non-English speakers. And for this is for students who speak English who are unable to pass the practice items after 3 attempts. So you want to give them a chance, okay?
Janet, can you talk about the first 2 that you just mentioned? When would they use that?
Assessment inappropriate.
Right, like what does that mean? Can you talk more about that?
Yes, so if the child is not able to complete the assessment at all, or they cannot, it's overstimulating for them and they cannot handle that. If you try it multiple times, you can mark that child as assessment inappropriate. And I do want to point out, just because they weren't able to do the assessment for PM1, that doesn't mean that's going to be that way for PM2. Give me one moment. You want to try to give them that opportunity to complete that assessment for the next progress monitoring too. Failed practice. If they have taken the practice test and they keep failing, you know that this assessment is not right for this child at this moment. So you would take that time, you would mark it as failed practice, but keep in mind you can still work with that child and you still want to test them for the next progress monitoring period. Yes, ma'am.
We have a question in the chat.
Yes.
Can the A be in there for the assessment with the lead?
Yes, they can. Are you referring to class observation?
Tappan, are you referring to class observation or program monitoring? I guess I'll wait for.
So I'm going to answer it both ways.
Okay.
Okay. So during your class observation, the aide can be in the classroom. Just note that the observer is going to be observing the lead teacher. If you are,
Class observation, she said.
okay, so if you are a director and the lead teacher, please note you cannot leave the aide in the classroom and go do director duties. That will not be allowed, okay? They're gonna let us know that the lead was not in the classroom, okay? For program assessment, not program assessment, but progress monitoring, of course, the aide can be in the classroom, but only a qualified instructor can provide the progress monitoring to the student. So if the aide does not have the lead teacher requirements, if they are not qualified to provide that assessment to the children, they should not be administering that, okay? All righty. The last thing I want to talk about on progress monitoring, and then I'll move on, is once your progress monitoring has ended, that doesn't mean that testing for children in your center has ended. If you get a new student that comes in and you're still within that window, please take the time to give that child that assessment, okay? Because what happens is once I go in and I track, it's showing me that you are not in compliance and that you have not completed the assessment on all your students. Um, if you did mark that child as, a non-participatory status, you want to notify me and just say, I have one child that did not participate, but all other students have completed the progress monitoring. That will let me know to make a note on your profile that you are in compliance, but just one child was not able to complete the assessment. Yes.
We had another question.
Yeah.
We wanted to know if you sent out emails or you will be sending out emails.
So for our providers, and I'm sorry about this, guys, for our providers that progress monitoring is coming up October, November, you've gotten those emails from me. Our providers who progress monitoring is coming up in December. You'll start getting those emails from me towards the end of November, early December. Okay, most of your progress monitoring dates will end depending on your schedule in January or early February. You just know you have that time frame to get them done. Okay. Thank you, Liz. Okay, tablets. Yay, this is also about PPK. Okay, so providers who are eligible for an additional tablet, what we're doing, Joseph back there, Joseph say hi. You will get an email from Joseph and he will let you know that you're eligible for an additional tablet. In the email, he will ask for you to set up a date and time that you are available to pick up your tablets. We all will be collectively helping Joseph to give these tablets to you guys, okay? And it is, my time is up and then I'll be back for SR.
All right.
I just wanted to send a quick reminder out. We have gotten a, hi, everybody.
Hold on.
Yeah, question?
Question for Janet.
Yes,
Amy Noel says, I got the email about Teachstone contacting me about the observation, but they have not contacted me yet. Will they call or email?
so you might receive a call and an email. So you receive that email first to let you know that it's coming up. And then you might receive that phone call from the observer to schedule your 2-week window and your blackout days. Some providers prefer to communicate only through email. Some prefer to communicate only through phone. So it is your choice.
All right. Thank you so much. I apologize.
No
problem.
Some of you, I wanted to come up and just remind you that we have this grant available to support if you want to do a VPK open house to recruit. A lot of providers this year are choosing to offer another class starting in January because we've seen an influx in VPK applications coming in. And actually, I was just talking to our Michelle here yesterday, and she said they are flowing in. Like parents are signing up. A lot of them are for next fiscal year or next program year, 23, 24. Woo, that feels weird to say that. But there are a lot of opportunities of children that we're still finding. They're trickling in, whether they were on a wait list somewhere and their parents have just said, you know what, I'm ready. I'm going to sign up for January. So if you decide that you want to do an open house for VPK, if you will just send me an email that says VPK open house, I'm going to put you on a list so that I can contact you and we can start scheduling your open house sometime December, depending on when you're going to start your class. If you're going to do a summer class next summer, Those are really important things. And we have the opportunity through grant funding, through generous support through United Way, that will allow us to purchase food, which is something we're never allowed to do. You know that. We can purchase food for your event. We can bring, if they choose to sign up that night at your school, like let's say you do an advertising campaign, you're going to do this family night, come on out, do a little festival or something. We will bring kindergarten readiness backpacks that are full of supplies for the child. So when the parent signs up, they will receive a $50 gift card from us to Sam's Club or Walmart, and then they will receive the kindergarten readiness backpack for the child. So this is a highly incentivized piece. We also have door prizes that go along with these events. If you choose and you would like to do one, I have a list of 4 providers that are interested already. But shoot me an email, and in the subject line, if you will put VPK family night, open house. You can put family night or open house, and I'll know what you're talking about. So let me pause and see if you have any questions. This is a 2-year grant, so I'm going to be talking about this regularly, like every couple months, just to keep it on the forefront that this is available, because we'll be doing it then in the next year too. If you have another class that you're trying to recruit VPK families to attend. Any questions online?
And I went ahead and put that in the chat so everybody can see it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. They're getting so good at the online thing, the hybrid thing. The other thing is that I'm going to just keep going on the agenda while I have the floor is a lot of you know our ARPA round 2 process has started. We started our meetings on November 7th. We're doing the process the same way as we did round 1. The only difference is round 2 is one lump sum payment. So what we're asking providers to do is watch out for those constant contacts that has the link to the meetings. We're asking providers to go ahead and pre-complete, is that a word? Pre-complete a sample application, bring it with you to the meetings, because we have found it has been very helpful to have it already filled out for the most part, because you're having to do that research for your budget, for your enrollments. So we're asking providers, when you register for a meeting, make sure you have a full list of your enrollments divvied out by child age. Something new for this round is that you also have to have a list of your wait list children. The state is asking for that. And then also a copy of that practice application, so that we're going to keep it with your file. And as we go through it, and we certify you that night typically, unless the system's down, which some of you experience that. If you experience that, we are still working through your applications, and we appreciate your patience. Let me pause and see if there's any questions. Any questions in the room?
I have to tell you, those paper checklists and you guys bringing in those printed out applications really saved us when the system was down.
It really did. It really has been very helpful. It's been really easy to communicate based on that stuff, because you've already got your stuff, your data is already there. So we just have to get it into the system and approved. So
No questions.
no questions. So we did really good or really bad, I don't know which, but please reach out if you have any questions. If you are questioning where your payments are, we are working really diligently every 2 weeks to get payments out, because some of you are still receiving from round 1, your second and third payments are still coming. So the timelines are crossing over a little bit, but we are working diligently in there. Please remember, these funds need to be spent. These are not funds that you're going to put in your savings account. This is money that has to be spent. We do monitor, we have to monitor this program very tightly. Latricia's in the process of finishing her second round of monitoring for ARPA grants. Federal dollars, folks, this is a big deal. And some of you are going to walk away with a check for over $140,000 for round 2 alone. So this is a big, big deal for us, for you, and to keep everything organized. So if you have any questions, you're going to write your questions to arpa@elc-marion.org. There's a group of us that have been trying to answer your questions as quickly as we can. One thing I will tell you, if you send me an email saying, what's the status of my application, that kind of breaks down my ability to keep moving on applications, because I need to stop and respond to you. So please just keep that in mind. If you feel like something's wrong, please don't hesitate to reach out. If it's past the deadline that you thought it would be, then reach out. But otherwise, I will Our team will definitely call you if we need anything else from you. And we appreciate your patience with us.
And that's one big lump sum, not 3 payments this time. innit?
Right, for round 2.
Woohoo!
One lump sum.
In time for Christmas.
It gives me heart palpitations. All right, you know how to reach us if you need to for ARPA.
Awesome. We have on our,
Oh, you know what? I'll stay up here for that.
Okay.
For the next one.
for okay,
Marcy, a lot of you probably know that we do not have a finance officer right now. So Marcy has jumped in, and her crew, which is in the back, Elizabeth, Joseph, Rachel's over yonder, have really been working hard to train on our processes, and Marcy is keeping us rolling while we start the process of looking for a new CFO. So she's here, she's stepping out, but she had told me that everything's good. But do you have anything you want to add? Just talk loud for the folks at home.
Whenever payments are going to be on time this month. Everything should roll perfect. Please bear with my staff next week as I am on vacation. So I will be checking my emails off and on.
Pastor said, how dare you go on vacation?
Please.
I'm not sure everybody on
But
can
my
hear
staff
her.
will get whatever you need
Alright.
or correspond with me. So we're not going to leave you hanging during this time. Remember, most of my staff are new. We have Lydia, who is our longest one here.
I forgot to mention Lydia.
But we will definitely try to keep it all rolling.
So for everybody online, Marcy, again, she said everything's great. But her team, she's going to be out of the office next week. So her team will be rocking and rolling all in their own, which they can do it. So just please be patient with us in responding. One thing I do want to say that Marcy didn't say is everybody for Tropical Storm Nicole, the Coalition Joseph entered the temporary closure for everybody. That is a school readiness provider. So you will get reimbursed for all enrollments for that day if you're a school readiness provider. For VPK providers, remember you have 5 days that you get freebies for, right? With Hurricane Ian, we used some of those. A lot of you chose to use those because it's a lot easier than trying to fix that calendar, right? Quality has been in touch with most of the majority of our VPK providers to find out if you're choosing to make up that day or if you're going to leave it be. I think, again, a lot of people decided to just let it go right now. So we anticipate a lot smoother of an issue than we did with Ian. Ian was fun. It brought a lot of things to light. But this will be a lot smoother. So we just continue to, keep those that are still being impacted by Ian and Nicole in our hearts, and we will move forward in Marion County. So, any questions? Questions in the room? Awesome. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Okay. I'm gonna go over some school readiness updates with you guys. Holiday reminders. This is a big one. As the holidays are approaching, please take the time to review your SR paid holiday schedule. And here's why. Sometimes providers say, oh, I want to change and get reimbursed for this holiday, but you wait to the last day. And so if you want to make that change after that holiday has passed, we are not allowed to do that. You can't be reimbursed for that day. That day is gone. Okay? If you opt to make that change, oh, hold on. Okay? If you opt to make that, okay.
I'm like, wait, is it one of those alerts? Like, what's the other alert? I don't know.
That's a good icebreaker. So if you opt to make that change to your holiday schedule a day or two before that holiday, sometimes that can be very difficult for you because, like, I'll use Thanksgiving for example. We're going to be closed that Thursday and that Friday. So if a provider was to make that change the day before, we're not going to get that amendment, sent out to you and signed in time, okay? So any changes that you want to make, try your best to do that you know, a month before, give us at least a 30-day notice, because it's a process that we have to go through to review your profile and make sure everything is correct, and then initiate the amendment. Send you that email, you review, you sign, I review, and I send to Ms. Roseanne, okay? All right. Um, the next thing on my list is QPS staff rosters. QPS was down for a while, so I know that was very frustrating for you guys. We've been on you about submitting your staff rosters on time. Now that it's working, another icebreaker. Yes. Now that it's working, providers who need to submit the monthly rosters, if you're not waiting for observation, you can now do so. Okay. Any providers who cannot log on to QPS, please reach out to Mary Brewster or Natisha. I always say her last name wrong.
And a good day.
That's still wrong, but Natisha. Mary's extension is 236. Natisha's extension is 233. My extension is 238. Please reach out to us and let us know if you cannot log on. We are backups for Mary. Mary is the one that is generally calling you guys about your staff rosters. And this is pertaining to class. It's very important that you update that, because if it's not updated, there's a possibility you won't be able to get a class assessment completed, okay? You want to make sure that your teachers and your directors in the classrooms match, okay?
That's a big deal, because that will stop us from entering into a contract.
Right. She took the words out of my mouth.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Say it again, Janet.
Okay, another icebreaker. So that is a really big deal, because it is part of your contract. When you sign your contract, you're agreeing to have a program assessment conducted for your center, okay? If you don't have one, we're not able to enter into a contract with you, okay? And that is for VPK and school readiness, okay? Speaking about class, I know I've been up here a lot, but yeah, speaking about class again, class observations will be starting for school readiness. It's important to note that our providers who are BPK and school readiness, we're going to schedule for those observations to be conducted at one time. So that observer will be there to conduct both SR and BPK. And that's to relieve some stress from you, so you don't have us coming in this day, and then a few weeks later for the VPK assessment, okay? Again, I want to encourage you not to make any unnecessary changes to your VPK app, okay? Please reach out to us, please call us. We will help you and guide you through this, okay? And that is all for me.
And I don't see any questions in the chat. Oh, wait, I was wrong.
Okay,
I was wrong. If we still get a high score for class, do we skip a year or no?
so
And
That's a
Sarah's
great
referring,
question.
I'm glad you
Sarah's
asked the
referring to
question.
biannual scores.
So no, unfortunately, that is not going to happen. If you get a high score, that is great for you, but you will have a program assessment conducted every year annually.
That's a
Okay.
change that just came
It
into
just
effect
happened, yeah.
this year to impact next year.
Mhm.
No more biennial.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you still get a differential. So
Right.
okay.
Right. So your QPI will go up, okay?
Okay.
Any other questions before I let Lily take over with professional
And
development?
I'm double checking. I do have some hands up.
Okay,
Linda Barber, did you have a question?
we're doing good, man.
Yeah, I wasn't taking chances. I got the big clock this time. Linda Barber, if you unmute yourself, you can speak. I don't see anything in the chat. Okay. Linda's not responding. Miss Rosalind, Miss Rosalind Murray, do you have a question? Your hand is up. Nope. Okay. All right. Feel free to type something in the chat or let us know. I'm gonna keep moving on.
Okay, thank you,
All
guys.
right. Thank you. All right. So, hey, y'all. All
Your
right.
signature line.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. So just for those of you online, fair warning, scrolling. And if you guys look on page 3 of your packet, you'll see that we have a professional development podcast coming up this Friday. And on the agenda, we have a guest. Her name is Miss Jessica Rivera. She's going to be sharing her experience that she went through in obtaining her director's credential. And we're going to be going into diving in more about these DEL teacher stipends. I hope you guys have been taking advantage of that. Here we go. And talking about the Teachstone subscriptions that are related to those stipends, how you can obtain Teachstone subscriptions if you choose to take those courses in order to get that stipend. And also the pre-K professional developments available there. And then we'll also be discussing the College of Central Florida and a few other opportunities. And then if you look on, and then we have an updated, in the packet, we have an updated employee directory. We have so many new people and so many new different places and everybody, just to help everybody get on the same page and know who's who and who's doing what. We put that in the provider packet for you, so you have an updated call list.
Hopefully soon you'll get another one because we'll be fully staffed.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Yeah. And I'm gonna take it back. For those of you online, watch your eyes.
Wee.
Sorry, here we go. All right, and I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Also in the provider packet, for those of you, we have a lot of new childcare providers this past year that have contracted with us. There's a program that the coalition offers. It's called Read Aloud. And in there is a packet that tells you how you can become a partner and get free books for your center and become a Read Aloud partner. There's also a flyer in the provider packet that talks about our Success by 6 services with Chrissy Vickers. Please feel free to take a look at that and take advantage of that. You don't want to miss out on those opportunities. And we have a compliance corner that will be happening next provider meeting. You guys will get to hear directly from the compliance team with some updates in that section.
We're going to start including a compliance corner too in our provider newsletters, which is just going to highlight just things that we see, just tips and tricks, and like as class observations, blah, 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 talking is hard. As class observations come around and we start to see, because sometimes what we see is we'll start to see trends, right? We'll start to see things that are happening the same way in all of your sites. And then we go, okay, hold on. There might be something that might be helpful to say to you that could just switch how you do something a little bit. And then the compliance corner will also help with, as they're going out to monitor, if they see things that would be helpful, because that's starting to happen now. We're going back into the programs and you're going to see us coming back out now more. Because, monitoring is, here we are again. We're back to pre-COVID times with coming to see all your gorgeous faces and saying hello and seeing the kiddos. And so you can look forward to that. And if there's anything you want us to cover, if there's a topic that's burning or your staff keep asking you for something, we would love to hear that from you. And anything else?
We got a shout out. Love compliance corner idea.
Yay.
So they absolutely love
No
that.
pressure, Michaela.
One of the things I wanted to approach you guys with, and I hope you can give me some feedback. Yes, thank you. I don't want to fall. You guys can't see it online, but there's a bunch of wires to the left of me. I am in the process of trying to plan for provider appreciation. And for those of you online, if you have an idea how you feel like you and your staff would greatly love to be appreciated this year, please put that in the chat. If any of you here have a good idea, I am, oh, money, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're doing that. Lots of money. But I think partially.
Yes, this meeting will be on YouTube later, yes.
And partially,
This is recorded.
what Lily is talking about is we've given you stuff, right, over the years. We've given you big packets of stuff. We've given you trainings. Last year she did painting with a twist. We were talking about it again, like, do we do that again so that other people can take advantage of it? Last year we even had a couple empty seats, so we can't do that. We can't have empty seats, is what I'm saying. Not that we can't do painting with a twist, but so your feedback is very needed.
Childcare cruise. I'm not sure how the logistics of that would work.
What if you park the boat somewhere and don't come back? I'm just saying, just throwing it out there, an island somewhere.
I would definitely wouldn't mind a cruise.
I could make a paper ship and put it out front.
Mary Brewster has offered to make paper ships and put them out front. Our theme this year is shaping the future. We could probably make a boat out of a few shapes. Yeah.
There's our STEM, our science.
Yeah. Speaking of science, I'm really, really excited to tell you guys I'm putting together a spring professional development schedule that is going to be out of this world. We got STEM gems from Port St. Lucie coming here.
Maybe they'll bring their boat.
It's a trash to treasure type training that goes beyond that. They're going to be coaching those individuals who sign up for this training to help them make changes in their classroom to be more towards STEM and teacher-student interactions, getting the children engaged and involved. And when I say STEM, I'm talking about science, technology, engineering, and math. And guess what, folks? That's the STEM is one of the last 3 portions of your class observation where it talks about instructional support, where everybody tends to make the lowest scores. This is really, really going to target that. And this is going to be good for pre-K. So that's going to be for pre-K, like 3 to 4-year-olds. But don't worry, I didn't forget about the little ones. I love my little ones. I've got Dawn Espinoza coming, and she's going to be doing what's called sensational sensory, and that's going to be for all ages, especially the little ones. So everybody's going to get a little bit of something. But that schedule will be out in our December provider meeting. I'm really excited for it, if you can't tell. And Mary Brewster, I know she's excited for STEM Gens because you saw them. Where was it? One goal?
Yep.
One
And
goal?
I encourage as many teachers to come to that. If you do STEM, you're going to do well on your observation. You do well on your observation, means more money.
For those of you online who may not have heard money, I mean, Mary. When is that training? I'd love to take the course. The trainings are going to be in the spring. The STEM Gems is going to be January 20, STEM Gems is March, and Dawn's is going to be January 21st. Hers will be the sensational sensory. But Mary was letting everybody know that if your teachers attend, there's a good chance that STEM will improve your class scores and improve your financial status. Do Marion County Public School BPK teachers qualify for DEL teacher stipend?
That is a great question. We'll have to get back to you on that.
Yeah, I'll have to get in touch with Luciana Grasso, who is working that initiative with the Department of Early Learning, and see if that is something that can be done. You can, it's okay, I still read it. No worries, Vicki. I'll find out and get back to you, Vicki.
I feel like too, like if we don't get to do the approval process for that, there is a process because there's only so much money. So I feel like if you think at all or any of your teachers are showing interest, go ahead and apply because the information is in your packet on the thing. The stipends are back is what it says. It looks like this. lots of information on there. You're applying not to us, you're applying to Luciana with Early Learning Florida.
Watch your eyes.
That though, so I mean, if anybody is interested, I would say go ahead and apply because there's a limited amount of money. And if you wait, we might, there's a limited amount of money and there's a limited amount of people that can answer our questions timely. So it might take us longer to get the answer to that than you just going ahead and applying and them saying, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for whatever reason. So I think the safer route is to just move forward if you have somebody interested. They already have, how many applications? There's a lot, we have quite a few in Marion County that are up there too, so.
Vicki, were you able to hear Elizabeth? Oh, thank you for the info. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. Is there any other questions?
Any questions in the room? Wow, we're giving you the gift of time back today.
Enjoy.
Have a good afternoon, everybody. Please don't hesitate to reach out and just happy.
You're welcome.
I didn't do it, stayed away from you, okay, good.